Welcome to session number 2, Appointed Time for You, from incarceration to prosperity, freedom, joy. Well, this is session number 2, Spirit-Minded Entrepreneurship. Wow, Spirit-Minded. Now, I am Ronnie B., and I'll be bringing on Nakia Franklin, the CEO of At the Appointed Time for You LLC, who will be presenting the first part of our session tonight. But before we kick off, we do want to get everybody into the mood. So we have a little something to start you off. All right, 1 second. All right, that was a little pumpkin from Pluto with money. Now, tonight's workshop, resolving complaints, creating a vacuum for prosperity. That session will be led by Nakia Franklin. Integrity, the foundation for dynamic results. Dynamic. I get to lead that session. And it all gets wrapped up with some appointed time prosperity work, which will be led by our own Nakia Franklin. And we're going to go ahead and start everything. And Nakia, over to you.
All right. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. I'm excited. Thank you for attending tonight's session. And I hope you're ready with your pen and paper and you're excited about prosperity and moving forward, resolving these complaints. So creating a vacuum for prosperity is critical in our lives. So let's get started. So we're going to have 2 conversations. And in the first conversation, we'll look at complaints, their nature, and how they impact prosperity. In the second conversation, our inquiry will focus on using those complaints to your advantage and creating a vacuum that attracts prosperity to your life. So let's remember, in this part of the webinar, we're asking you to put on your thinking caps as we look at the nature of persistent complaints. So we're going to also trust in your power and the nature of the conversation to produce powerful and surprising results. We are providing a structure through conversations that allow individuals to reveal their hidden powers and practice the knowledge they already possess. All right. Are your favorite complaints running the show? That's not fair. Poor me. Why me? Yeah, you know how it is. You may not necessarily verbalize it, but you know internally we're like, ugh, Why I gotta keep going through this? Why all the drama? So the nature of persistent complaints, we're going to focus on it. During this section, we're going to look at the nature of a complaint, what's behind a complaint, what you get from holding on to a complaint. So I hope you're ready. Think about it. Now, we all have complaints. That is the natural problem. It's natural, and it is a problem. The problem is when we are in our persistent complaints. So let me rephrase it. We all have complaints. That is natural. The problem is when there are persistent complaints that have us. Okay. I think you got it. Sometimes we acknowledge our complaints either verbally or by our actions. Other times through innuendo or lack of action, we acknowledge our complaints in that process. Either way, these persistent complaints can be debilitating. I almost started saying deliberating. I'm not in court. And become barriers keeping our highest and best from being manifested. Our complaints are not created equally. And I repeat, our complaints are not, N-O-T, created equally. So we're going to examine and have an inquiry about a specific type of complaint called persistent complaints. These are the complaints you may or may not give voice to, but you know in your heart of hearts they exist, and they have existed for more than a few days. All right, so again, I know you have your pen and paper, especially those of you who attended the first session are excited about getting this ready, getting this down, and doing the work, because you know you can't accomplish anything without doing the work. And that's something Ronnie and myself always, definitely hone in on, doing the work. And we're doing the work with you because it's important for us to do the work, because we still have persistent complaints in our day-to-day lives. It'll never go away, but we can only get better. So I hope you had time to get your pen and paper for those who didn't have it. All right, get ready to write down these following categories: money or employment. Some of you might do both, but money or employment. Romance, health, relationships. And it's right there on the screen. So again, money or employment, romance, health, relationships. Now, under each category, I want you to write one thing you have been putting up with, something you don't like or don't want, something you have been resisting, you have been trying to change, or you have simply given up on ever happening, or simply complain about persistently. We can all relate to this, but I only need one item at this time. Now, when we're done, you can do this exercise all over again and recreate the category in the format and pick another complaint. But right now, just pick one for each category. So Ronnie B and I are doing the exercise with you, so we are part of the inquiry. We're looking for something new for ourselves. We are all in this together. Not perfect. No different than we both breathe air. We both have blood running through our veins. We both need the same things in life to survive. So I'm going to keep talking while you're working. And take it seriously. Really think about it and make an honest assessment and write it down. In the end, it'll be a major payoff for you. So the nature of a complaint, especially persistent complaints, is to be right. Why would we want to be right? Because we get something out of it. Now let's look at that. The payoffs. Keep writing. Now in the payoffs, I am right. Others are wrong. Everybody know exactly what I'm talking about. Bottom line.
I love how you said that. I am right. Others are wrong.
I mean, the bottom line, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no black and white. There's no stripes. There's no nothing. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. And you're wrong. Period. I don't even want to talk about it. I can justify my actions and invalidate your actions. I mean, I can tell you that you're wrong, and I know you're wrong because I said that you're wrong. Invalidate your actions or the actions of others. They were wrong. I was right. This is why I was right. Period. I don't want to hear it. I can dominate the conversation and not have to hear the other side or avoid being dominated and having to listen to another's point of view to avoid responsibility. Man, avoidance, responsibility. Those two words are hot topics. So when we're being right about our complaints, we do get a payoff. What are the payoffs? You now see that you are getting from holding on to this complaint. And each person's payoff may be completely different. So under each of your categories, you may have a different idea, a different complaint, persistent complaint. Your payoff may be different. You can have the same persistent complaint, but your payoff may still be different in all probability. So to get the payoff, you must have cost, and the cost for you and for your overall prosperity will look like this. The costs are in the categories of health and vitality. Okay. Love or joy. Freedom. Wow. Power. Ruh. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did my little she woman. Rah. Move. And looked down and saw the lady with the weights. Bless her heart. Oh. Okay, and the other granny right there too. So yeah, full self-expression is the other one. Being who you are in totality without having to modify who you are. That's what that is saying. Full self-expression. So now under each item, write the cost of holding on to this persistent complaint. So Ronnie B and I are going to go through the exercise with you. So we're going to have Mr. Ronnie B start off and share what you are seeing about the payoffs and the cost from your persistent complaint.
Okay, all right. Well, now, one of the things, I was looking at the categories, looking at my persistence complaint, and I was trying to make sure I had the right category. But one of my complaints is, and I'll work out what the category is that I can't afford to take a real vacation.
Wow.
That I can't either the money or the time. I can't afford to take a real vacation, and I've noticed that that's a persistent complaint. Like I've been begrudgingly, I've been, as they said, putting up with it. I've been putting up with that. That I not take. What I've been putting up with is not being able to take a vacation. like a real, like 2 weeks off where I'm not worried about work, business, other people relate. Well, I'm just, whining. Okay? Now, so that's my persistent complaint. Now, if we go through the steps, okay, all right, now part of the steps would be, okay, what am I being right about? Okay, so one of your payoffs is I'm right, others are wrong. Well, when I look at it, it's like this. Um, uh, I'm being right that I cannot take a vacation either because of money or time. Okay, that's what I'm being right about. And it's wrong of others to question me about taking time off, given that it's either the money or the time. Now, I can justify. Now, see, this is, you want to break it up. I justify not taking a vacation because I need to be responsible and handle bills, take care of business. Okay, so that's how I adjust it. I get to justify not taking a vacation because, hey, I got more important things to handle. Yeah, that's the way to say it. See, I got more important things that I got to handle than me taking a vacation. Now, if someone says, well, hey, look, man, you only got so many hours, you just go ahead, what the hell, take the vacation. Well, I can bring up all the things that would go wrong. Like right now, hey, look, I take that vacation, I'm gonna be behind 2 weeks on money I need to pay bills and rent.
If you would get paid hourly.
Yeah, hey, hey, getting paid, I have to create my money. So, hey, now you might have a steady job where they pay you by the hour and give you, but I ain't got that. I have to create my money. So, now, so you can hear my. See, I didn't want to hear what she said. That was perfect. That was perfect. So, yeah, our friend who keeps us straight, he was like, he caught that too. Now, now the cost. Okay, what does it cost for me keeping the complaint that I can't afford to take a vacation because of time or money? Now, can you imagine 3-4 years and you haven't had a real vacation, how that's got to impact your health? Well, I don't have to imagine. Man, I'm burnt out most of the time, falling asleep in the middle of projects. I'm drinking 6 cups of coffee a day, to keep my energy going. So, like I know some of y'all eating Snickers, gonna laugh at me. Some of y'all eating Snickers and stuff. I got to call y'all eating some Snickers. Yeah, you ate them 4 Snicker bars. I know. Okay, so, okay, but overall, I'm steadily burnt out, and I haven't had a good rest. So it's costing me that. Now, love and joy. Well, if you haven't had a vacation in 3 or 4 years, you can imagine when the last time I was able to go on a nice trip with a little cutie. I can't take the time for a vacation. I sure ain't gonna be able to take the time to go out with a little cutie for a weekend getaway. Okay, so it's costing me there. Now, freedom, power. As I said, the one, and I'm going to say it this way: under the freedom and power, it cost me by keeping that complaint. It's allowing the complaint to be more powerful than what I say.
All right.
See, does the complaint have? Do I have? See, we have complaints, but when it's a persistent complaint, the complaint has you. So the cost is dealing with that complaint powerfully. And as they say, under full self-expression, um, uh, the impact that it costs me on my full self-expression is that a rested, vital, loving, powerful person uh, is 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 being limited because all of that, if that is not available, there's no way I'm fully self-expressed because I'm burnt out.
Right. Mhm.
I can't even think of, I'm now, my expression may be great to the casual observer. It might be, man, you kicking butt. But deep inside, I know that there's a lot more creativity. And I'm just too burnt out to even try to tap into it.
Mhm.
So that's the little bit around, and that's something I'm just looking at now. Like Nakia said, you will discover a persistent complaint, handle it, and then you find out you get some more,
That's
and
right.
you create a new one. You resolve, like I've been doing this work a long time. Oh, I mean, I've been resolved, but then you look up 6 months and you done created a new one. So it's always a continuum of working on it.
That's right.
Okay, so back to you, Nakia.
Thank you, Ronnie. That was awesome. So I hope everyone was able to get a visual of Ronnie's persistent complaint and him going through the process of the payoffs of justification and the cost of keeping it going, and it helped give you some guidance on how to address your persistent complaints, and you're looking at your categories and looking at things realistically. So at this point, I'm going to share about a persistent complaint that I had. And I'm going to go through each step of the payoffs, then each step of the cost, and my victory once I took responsibility for the complaint. And then I'm going to let it go. Okay. You heard that last part. I'm going to let it go. So my persistent complaint is when I had a client, I was on the phone with the client, and we were having a strategy session and discussing our next level of milestones and the next item on his list that he had to address and overcome. So after getting off the phone with this client, I really started to ponder on a particular part of the conversation which addressed his lack of ability to be present with his children because they were in a different state with their mother. And he was using that fact to avoid the responsibilities of performing his fatherly duties to his children. Okay? So that didn't sit very well with me. So my persistent complaint was the fact that he was avoiding responsibility for taking care of his parental role, regardless of the little facts and nuances of the situation, whether it was because of the distance, whether because of the relationship with the mother, or whatever the case may be, or the lack of his presence in the children's lives for a period of time, being that he was incarcerated for a period of time and not released back to that state, but released here. So the payoff for me was, let me see, the payoff for me was the fact that I was determined to be right and trying to make him take responsibility for his lack of presence and being that father that he should be. So I was determined to not understand and hear what he had to say, but be right in the situation, hands down. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, so my justification in it, and well, how I justified it, was treating him differently, changing my approach and my method in leading him and guiding him in various strategies and techniques in order to accomplish tasks and accomplish achieving different levels of success as he defined it, as in how he defined his level of success. Okay, so I was able to avoid dealing with the client on specific issues as a result. All right, so of course, there was a cost of keeping my persistent complaint going. And, it could turn out one way or it could turn out another. But my cost, as far as health and vitality were concerned, was that I began to stress over the fact that he was avoiding responsibility, in my opinion, and not trying to put forth a diligent effort to make an impact in his children's lives, regardless of his physical location. Okay.
I just have to say, you are over here stressing about somebody else's issue.
Yes. Yes. And I should know better.
It ain't about it knowing better, but
Absolutely. So, okay, in the area of love and joy, now I have a love for what I do. I have a passion for what I do, helping others, and the reintegration process and strategizing and creating milestones, achievable milestones, realistic milestones. So that's my passion. That's my love. That's my joy. But that was being taken from me. So I was allowing, let me correct myself, I was allowing myself to lose that and feel as though it was being taken from me, because I didn't have, quote, 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 freedom and the power to speak openly and directly to this client in a level of fear of offending him and making him feel inferior and breaking him and breaking we had accomplished so much, and I didn't want to break that level of trust with him, not as though I'm talking about his issue with other people, but I didn't want him to feel as though I was there to beat up on him or look down on him or chastise him. So to get him to see things my way. Okay. So I had to relinquish a level of freedom and power over to him and allow him to make his own conscious decisions, whether right or wrong, positive, negative, whatever the result is. I had to understand it was his life. So my level of full self-expression was at that point modified because of the cost that I was paying of keeping it going. So at the end of it all, end all be all, I had to be open to the idea of him choosing not to step into that parental role because of what he felt was justifiable reasons, because of his life experiences and exposure and belief with all his heart of hearts that he could not be that father that his children deserve. So That was my persistent complaint.
Now, just a question: when you let it go, when you let it go, did it kind of like was it like a good thing?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I sat here and was in deep thought and was like,
That's great. Yeah, as we said, we in the work too. You start looking at it, you go, "Yeah, I was man, that was deep."
I started to revisit that
but I
thought.
think something
Yeah,
good. I think there was a little victory in some kind of way.
I had to revisit that thought for a minute. I was like, okay. So, so at the end of the day, yes, I let it go because it's not my job, nor is it my right, nor do I have the ability
Mm,
to save everybody and save the world. People are individuals, okay? And we all make our conscious decisions based on our circumstances and situations. So, yes, I had to let it go, and I had to respect his decision, regardless of the outcome of the future, because I know not what his future will end up being.
mm.
But for that moment, I had to release myself of the responsibility, and I had to release him, and I had to forgive me as well as forgive him, even though he may not have done anything wrong to me.
Mm.
But it was just the mere fact of me being able to do that and move on and move forward and not hold him hostage or hold myself hostage or anyone else and prevent me from being able to work effectively with others because of my persistent complaint on one particular area. So, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. And I feel good.
All right.
All right. So, the vacuum law of prosperity, and I really hope that you all were able to get some things out airing on this evening. Attracting prosperity. There is something awesome that happens when you discover your persistent complaints. Take responsibility for them. And what? Let them go. The act of releasing those complaints creates a vacuum, a space for prosperity to naturally start to flow. Shake it off. Let it go. We ask the question, if I am honestly trying to be prosperous, thinking along prosperous lines, yet wealth and romance eludes me. Not excludes me, but eludes me. What is happening? Okay, so you may be making progress, but it seems like you're creeping along. It's taking forever. I should be further along by now. Ooh, I'm not where I need to be. Oh, yeah. I think about that frequently. Just enough progress to keep working, but nothing spectacular, dynamic, unpredictable. Okay, so when a person is honestly trying to be prosperous, thinking along prosperous lines, and still fails. Okay, so let me back up. I'm going to repeat that because some people forget that you can do all the right things and yet you still fail. When a person is honestly trying to be prosperous, they're thinking along prosperous lines and they still fail. Okay, it's time to invoke the vacuum law of prosperity. It's time to kick it in. So basically, the vacuum law is this. If you want greater good, greater prosperity in your life, start forming a vacuum to receive it. In other words, get rid of what you don't want to make room for what you do want. Get rid of all the negative, the distractions, the naysayers, the self-doubt, and start bringing in that positive, that love, that support system, those accountability partners. Bring in the positive, the things that's going to help elevate you and move you and push you forward. If there are clothes in the closet or furniture in your home that no longer seems to be right for you, if there are people among your acquaintances and your so-called friends that are no longer congenial, honest, straightforward, supportive, begin moving the tangibles and intangibles out of your life. Get rid of it. Bottom line, in your faith and in the faith that you can have what you really want and desire, you got to have that. Often it is difficult to know what you do want until you get rid of what you do not want. Say it again. Often it is difficult to know what you do want until you get rid of what you do not want. You can't make room for the good and the positive and what you really want. If you got all that clutter, if you got all those skeletons in your closet, you got to move that out. Then you can start seeing, you can start opening up. You be like, man, that's a whole lot of space. Oh, that'll look nice here. That'll look nice there. Oh, you know what? I want to start hanging with those people, and I want to start getting along with these individuals. Oh, I want to start pursuing that. Man, I can see myself in that position. But as long as you have the rags on, as long as you have the mindset of failure, of self-doubt, of inequality, that's where you will continue to dwell in. And you don't want that. So let go of the lesser. Inevitably, in your life experiences, you will find that when the good you wish has not appeared, it is usually because you need to release and let go of something to make room for it. Exactly what I just said. New substances easily into a cluttered situation. See, I broke it down for you a moment ago, and I'm just trying to make sure you're receiving it. So if you want greater good in your life, what are you letting go of? Getting rid of to make room for it. Nature does abhor a vacuum. And when you begin moving out of your life what you do not want, you automatically begin making a way for what you do want. When we release our persistent complaints, we create a vacuum for prosperity, for love, for health, and well-being to rush in. So I know you've been working, I know you've been focused on your persistent complaints and the costs and the payoffs and the justifications, all of those great things throughout this session. And I appreciate you actually doing the work because it's imperative in order for you to get to the next level. Now, looking over your list of persistent complaints and the payoffs and the costs, what do you see possible for yourself by taking responsibility and releasing the complaint? We all have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Or not.
Yeah, that would be true.
Or not. You get what you get. You get what you get. Now you gonna get what you get. You know, nobody can put a stick to you. But you know, Nakia Empress, the one of the things that I see newly from doing the exercise is that is resisting stepping up to the plate to make sure that I take care of myself in a loving way.
Absolutely.
See, I'm a responsible person. You know, hey, look, let me get the bill, let me get this handled, until it becomes about me and taking care of Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put myself on the back burner, and that's actually, you know, I just say I'm going to put it in the bad and wrong category. That's bad and wrong, you know. That's bad and wrong, you know. Now coming from my place of faith, God did not create me to suffer.
True. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I'm doing is denying God's gift so that I can suffer. So that,
Hmm.
at least from my spiritual position. So who am I to deny God's gifts so that I can suffer? I think that would be a problem. I'm going to deny God's gifts. So let me take responsibility that I have the wherewithal to create space to take a vacation and have the money handled. I know I can. I've done it before. It's not impossible. And I don't have to, I am not going on a 2-week vacation to the African continent. I can take 2 weeks and be with family and friends in a different state and going out and doing that. So, it is for real. So that's one thing I see is that I have a lot of complaints that are around taking care of my own self. So that's what I see you from doing the exercise this week.
Wow. I want to share something. So it was said that most of the time a person that wants to move doesn't take time for a personal inventory. So they will know what is good and what is bad in their life. They have to do that. And sometimes they may not even know how to do that. And if you don't know how to do that, seek out assistance, seek out guidance, seek out
Yeah. If you don't know how to do it, then do the exercise.
right. But for those that are not even willing to do the exercise, they may need that extra incentive or help, and they need to seek out someone who's willing to help work with them or show them how to do it. Because some people are not confident enough in themselves to even challenge themselves to do the exercise. So once that is done, then a person can see what is not good for them and what is good for them. But coming from the streets, some people have to learn how to take the steps to move forward. And in a conversation with a dear friend of mine, Kevin Hopkins, that is some powerful information that was shared with me. And I definitely want to put that out there in the atmosphere so it can be received by those individuals who are challenged by the work. But it's critical to get to a place so you can be able to do the work or be comfortable enough to challenge yourself to do the work or seek help to get the work done. So what I see for myself from the exercise is, as a result of me letting go, I began to understand and accept, not understand, but accept the fact that there will be things that come across the table to me that I will not be able to change or challenge a person on. Once a person is definitive in their opinion in certain things, I have to be comfortable within myself and within trusting that individual after we've hashed it out, because we gonna visit it and we gonna put it all out on the table. But to be okay with saying, I understand. And we'll take that topic or that subject or that card and put it to the side and not revisit that unless they choose to bring it up, and leaving it open on the table for them in the future to revisit it if they should choose to do so. But being okay with knowing that I can't fix everything. And for those that are not willing to fix and work on the things that they really need to focus on, because those surface level things and that job and that, I need money right now, certain things you have to put to the side. You can't work on everything at one time. And it's about steps and phases and milestones and strategizing. And that's why we sit down and we hold that conversation. We have that real honest dialogue and we look at realities and realistic things. And then we set a plan from there. So that is what I've gotten out of this. And that's powerful for me. so I can move to the next level. And I'm good with saying I can't help you either. So, all right, everybody. I know that we've talked a lot, we've done a lot, and it's time for us to take a break. We're not going to take a long break because we always want to be respecters of time. And we're going to always do what you love to do and what you do and love what you do. So let's focus on our future and let's take about let's see, it is 7:46 p.m. Let's take about a 2-minute break or 3-minute break so everybody can, use the pot, get something to drink, stretch, and come right back.
Give them back. Let them come back at 7:52.
At 7:52? Okay, so.
Yeah, give them. It's been a long conversation.
All right, we're at about 5 minutes. Absolutely. So 7:52, be ready to roll. Up next, we're going to have the integrity. We're going to have integrity, the foundation for dynamic results, and Ronnie B is going to lead that section. All right. Enjoy, y'all.
Stronger than negativity. Being positive is not a matter of hiding or denying what's negative. Being positive is being stronger than the negativity. When you're wrong, admit it. Then you can let the error go, correct it, and move forward. When you're frightened, admit it. When you no longer fear the fear itself, that fear loses power, and you gain the strength to deal with it. When something is not working, admit it. The sooner you do, the more solidly you can move on to something else. You have the power to face the problems, to act on them, to come out ahead. Engage that power by admitting what's wrong, by choosing to see it clearly. Have the courage to shine a bright light on what's holding you back, and you'll find the strength to move successfully beyond it. Don't believe what you read. Don't be fooled by what you see. Nothing is what it seems.
Oh.
Truth is hidden somewhere in you. The man he wants you to be afraid. Evil and fear are easily played. They'll tell you this, tell you that. But it's up to you to figure out where it's at. There's something in the water. Something in the water. I'm telling you, you got to believe. There's something in the water. I'm here. The politicians tell you lies. Leave the devil
All right, welcome back to the next segment of the webinar for tonight. I am Ronnie B. And I'm here with Nakia Franklin, our co-presenter for tonight, and we're going to move into the next segment, Integrity, the Foundation for Dynamic Results. And let's kick it off with something powerful to get into the mood.
Aware of your assumptions. If you assume you can't get the work done, you won't get the work done. What if you could assume differently? When you catch yourself thinking that task is too complicated or the goal is out of reach, stop. Realize what you're saying is just your own assumption. And your own assumption is something you can quickly change. It's easy to assume you can't. It's much better to figure out how you can and then to make it happen. Negative assumptions are made worse by the fact that they don't go away on their own. Once you assume you can't do something, you'll always operate under that assumption unless you make the intentional effort to rid yourself of it. So what are the things you've assumed you cannot do? Perhaps it is time to prove those assumptions wrong. Assumptions can forever hold you back, or they can light the way and push you forward. Be aware of your own assumptions and keep only the ones that serve you best.
All right, that's some good advice. Our conversation, what is integrity? Now, we're starting a new inquiry. That's a lot of fun, and we'll give you a whole lot of power. What is integrity? Now, there's moral integrity, which is the world of right and wrong, good and bad, or evil. Now, moral integrity, that is not the conversation that we're going to address. That's a conversation that spiritual advisor, your faith, that you in those areas, they're the people that handle that. In this conversation, we're looking at integrity from the standpoint of workability to produce results. You know, what integrity needs to be there to make things workable so I can produce the results. Now, to give you an example, if you have a bicycle, you know the wheels have spokes. And if you want your white bicycle to work properly, all the spokes must be aligned. That is what gives the wheel integrity so that you're not wobbling. You know, if you're a kid, you notice when a couple of spokes got missing from that bicycle wheel, then it would wobble as you're trying to ride on it. Now, a submarine can go under the water because it has what is called waterproof integrity. Otherwise, it would sink. Now, we, you, me, the Empress of Faith, our good friend Kevin Hopkins, we operate at a certain level of integrity to get things done. And when we're not working at that level, the results start to fade or even disappear. So one thing that you'll be able to easily detect that something is happening with your integrity is when you notice a level of power at producing results start to fade or even disappear. Now, we're going to look at integrity from a very, very powerful perspective that allows you to generate integrity or restore integrity as needed to produce the results you desire in your life. Now, let's say for this conversation, integrity, the state of being whole and complete, honoring one's word as oneself. Wow. What is being whole and complete? Think about that for a moment. What is being whole and complete? Now I want you to try. Whole and complete means lacking nothing, no parts missing, like the bicycle. All the spokes are there. Now, if you in your seat listening, either participating over the web or listen to the video, if you are lacking nothing with no parts missing, that could be pretty darn powerful. Like, wow, there's nothing about you that's missing, that's incomplete. You're whole and complete, lacking nothing, no parts missing. But why does it occur that there is something missing or lacking? Now, I'm going to give you a hint. And the hint is a part of your past has gotten stuck in your future, so it seems like something is missing or not working or lacking. Now, how do you recognize those bits of the past stuck in your future? You look at those persistent complaints. Persistent complaints are past-based, and they keep us stuck in the past, and they suck out the integrity. That's what they do. They suck it out, suck it out, suck it out. You know, those costs, health, vitality, love, joy, full self-expression, power, freedom. See, when you're whole and complete, lacking nothing, all of that is present and available to you. Persistent complaints are a mechanism to avoid responsibility. When we avoid responsibility, we give our power away. We lose integrity. We want to look at our persistent complaints to see where we are losing our power, our integrity in that area. By taking responsibility for those persistent complaints, we are no longer victims. We are free to be powerful. You know, it was really great when Nakia shared earlier when she said, hey, here I had this client, and my complaint with this client is that he will not take care of his kids, and he keeps making up these excuses not to take care of his kids. And it impacted her power in being able to work with the client. You know, the integrity was missing because she's a powerful woman. Totally, knows her subject matter, knows how to break down the structure, set up milestones, do all that stuff. And that got impacted because of that complaint. It sucked the power out of her. And that's what the persistent complaint, they suck your power. They have you lose integrity. Now, we're going to start another inquiry. We're going to look at the second part, honoring one's word as oneself. Honoring one's word as oneself, the power of your word. Now, when we look at integrity as workability, something powerful and freeing becomes present. You have the power to generate integrity at any time, under any circumstances, by using the power of your word. It was written, let there be light. First, there was the word. Let there be light. It wasn't light and then the word, okay, well, we got some light. No. Let there be light. Light. When you build your integrity through the power of your word, when you say chair will manifest. When you say love will manifest. When you say jobs and employment will manifest. The power of your word. If you are lacking power, the fastest way to generate power is to give your word freely and unabashedly. See, a lot of us don't want to make any promises. Well, I don't want to promise something I can't deliver. You need to promise and work your butt off to deliver. Now, if you fail to be your word, you acknowledge it as quickly as possible. That's one of the skills of building power with integrity. And give your word again to your power and integrity ASAP. Kevin, I promise I'll have that report to you on Friday. Now, I'm at Wednesday, and it's like, man, I don't think I'm going to get that report done for Kevin. I told him I'd had that report done for him, and I'm not, well, hey, Kevin, I promised you that I would have that report to you Friday. Kevin, I'm not going to be my word. Now, I'm going to do everything possible to have it by Friday, but I'm looking at it, I'm not going to be my word. I'm going to make a new promise to you. I will have it Saturday. Now, when our integrity is missing, going out, or weak, it is because we are not present to ourselves as powerfully being our word in the matter. Whenever our power is going out, we lose our experience of ourselves as being powerful. We become victims of the circumstances. The access to building your integrity is making promises freely and unabashedly, especially promises outside of yourself. When you fail to keep those promises as quickly as possible, communicate with whoever needs to be spoken with. Acknowledge you did not keep the promise or that you're not going to keep the promise, and make a new promise. Now, you're training yourself in your environment, community, to listen you as someone who has integrity. Now, those of you who are ex-offenders might not be present to how much integrity you have and how you used it in the past to create results, create workability. Now, I have a few associates, I'll say, from a past life who, I'll just say, who were dope dealers. That they were drug dealers. They would ride high, big cars, big jewelry, big bling bling, and they actually operated with a lot of integrity when it came to that lifestyle. When it came to how they took care of, there was a lot of integrity. Things worked. Now, remember, I'm not talking about moral integrity. Now, that's another aspect of life. But as far as workability, they could work the program. There was integrity there. Now, there are levels of integrity, areas of integrity. But as far as workability, they could do the thing. And I just want to share that I have a lot of respect for you folks who are reentering the community, who are about to reenter, who've been back, who you did your time, did the thing, and you moved on in life, and there are challenges. I owned a video store, Down the Hill Video, way back when way back before the blockbusters and Hollywood videos and all those good folks. And I opened my video store in an area that was like, on the low end, so to speak. And one of the things that I did was that I made it easy for people to rent. Back in those days, you had to either have a credit card or you'd have to put up a deposit. I mean, it was really funky what you had to do to rent a video. And there was a halfway house a couple of blocks from my video store. And the residents came and they said, look, sir, most of us, we just got out of jail, we're in recovery, all of that. But no one will rent a video to us. And I was, well, I will. And they were, you really will? I was, yeah, I'll rent a video to you. And now I'm going to tell you, the people who had the most integrity were the people in the halfway house. Because one, they appreciated that, hey, I'm just going to treat you like good folk. And they bust their butt. If they were going to be late, they would go collect other people's videos to make sure our little store got our videos. I mean, they had I had customers who, no jail, none of that for them. I got to track down, call 100 times, sir, can you return the video? We just want the video back, because it's costing us money not to have it. Now, but they had integrity. And I learned a lot about people going through something and people doubting the love. No, they had integrity, a lot of it, and could generate it. Now, I have a cousin who's serving 30 years to life. Now, I'm like, my God, 30 years to life. I mean, I cannot imagine. I mean, man, oh God. But he's been in there a while, and yeah, 30 years to life. And he's in there, and I'll say because of integrity. And one of his integrity things is that he was I'll just say that I want all the glory, but not the responsibility. You may know some people like that, and they ain't got to be ex-offenders. They want all the glory, but they don't want any of the responsibility. I want to be the boss, but I don't want the responsibility of being the boss. Well, in part of his what I want, but I don't want the responsibility, was his children. So he's had children, and the first part of their lives, he was in prison. And he got out and, was doing his thing to, get back. And it was like, hey, well, how about your children spend a week with you? The week that he was spending with his children was spending with him, he went and robbed a store and got caught and got thrown back in prison. And you look and you go, well, where was the integrity at? Well, see, it worked for him to be in prison. It didn't work for him to have his kids with him. Kind of a funny way to look at it, but he had integrity when it came to, hey, man, I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to take responsibility. He had integrity about not taking responsibility. I'll show you how much I have integrity. I'll go to prison to show you that I'm not going to take responsibility for these kids. Now me, look, give me the kids. Come on over here. But see, for him, I don't want that. I don't want responsibility. And the ultimate no responsibility is, well, let me be in prison. Because then I'm not responsible. Hey, my dental health care taken care of. I don't have a job I have to go to. I don't have to explain to my kids, my parents. Hey, it's the ultimate. And he had plenty of integrity, but I'm not going to take responsibility. Now, we have an exercise to get you started on the path of generating integrity. Yay! Yay! We got to exercise. Now, write our favorite categories: money or employment, romance, health, relationships. Under each category, write one thing where it appears you lack power or you need power. Next, write the persistent complaint you have about this issue where you lack power. Next, write the action that would be needed to bring power and integrity back to the situation. Next, you'll write who you will make the promise to take the action and by when you will do what you promise. So we're going to repeat that. Under each category, write one thing where it appears you lack power or you need power. Write the persistent complaint you have about this issue where you lack power. Write the action that would be needed to bring power and integrity back to the situation. Write who you will make the promise to take the action and by when you will do what you promise. Now I'm going to say a little something. Do not make promises to God. Too easy. Too. A lot of you, I'll just promise God. Nope. Promise one of his human angels so that they can get on your butt if you don't follow your word. Someone that you will have to hold yourself accountable to. And you can make a promise to God. Now, give yourself a break. Sometimes you need to take baby steps to start the motor going, trying to pump. You may need to make small promises to build up your momentum. Okay? So some of you kill yourself by, well, I'm going to make this big, I'm going to do all this, and you really have good intentions, and good intentions are the pathway to hell. Don't do that. Take on something that you've been resisting, that you've been putting up with, but it's something that you could make a promise and get done in a reasonable time, like 7 days. Now, for others, see, some of y'all are more advanced than others. You've been around, you kind of been through the fire, and you may be on a totally new path. And so the problem is you make easy to fulfill promises that don't move you forward. So you need to make a bold, bodacious promise that would have you go outside the box, maybe even fail at being your word. So, you may need to promise to your spouse that you're going to ask the boss for a raise, and hey, dear, or hubby, or the other, whoever you are in the relationship, that hey, on Thursday I'm going to ask the boss for the raise, and I'm going to get that raise. Well, now you promised that, and so they're going to ask you, well, dear, did you ask the boss about that raise? And you're going to say, yes, I did. Did you get the raise? And you will, or you will not have. But either way, you kept your word. And that's the thing, you kept your word. If you're trying to save some money, okay, don't promise you're going to, I'm going to save $2,000 over the next such a time. Make a promise that this week I will save $50. Now, for some of you, $50 is like a drop in the bucket. So for you, $2,000. But $50, I promise I will save $20. Start somewhere. Because once you get the feeling of being your word, your power is contagious. It grows. Now, God, I remember. Here it is. Me and my friend, business partner, we just got kicked out of a business, just got evicted. We're staying in one of those weekly pay hotels. We got rats running around, roaches in there, and we got prostitutes, we got the whole bang there. And we're trying to run a business out of this little hotel room. And we had to make a promise that even if it was $5 a day, $10 a day, that we were going to make some profit each day until we could get out of there. Now, we ended up being there for about 2 months. And at the end of the 2 months, we were able to save up, earn a couple of grand so that we could move to a very nice place. And none of our clients knew we were running our business and living out of this little rat-filled hotel. But we didn't promise that we would make a bunch of, we said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make $10 today. I'm going to make $20 today. And we promised small things that were big because it was tough. Now, as you do the work, make the promises fulfill or fail. As you do the work to make the promises, you'll fulfill or fail and make new promises. You start to know yourself as someone of integrity, and your community starts listening and supporting you as someone who keeps their word. Then, loving people come rushing your way to support you. Yes, they do. They will come. They will lovingly start beating down your door. Okay? So I want you to look over those exercises. We are going to take a break so that we can get our appointed time prosperity work with Nakia Franklin, the Empress of Faith. Now, we're running a little bit over, but I'm going to give you about 5 minutes so that you can kind of review the exercise and get prepared for the finale. Okay? So up next, the appointed time prosperity work, and listen to this little treat to keep you going.
Invested. To be creative, be invested. The more you put yourself into the work, the more creative you'll be at it. You don't have to wait or search or hope for people, places, situations, or stories to inspire creativity. Just go to work, then keep the effort going, and you have plenty of creativity. The more you care, the more you see, understand, empathize, and resonate with life. Powerful, useful, appropriate, creative ideas will spring from your thoughts. Get interested, involved, active, and committed. Where you focus your love, effort, and awareness is where creativity manifests. Your most brilliant and creative ideas revolve around what you care about the most. Put all of yourself into the work and liberate the full extent of your creative power. Invest your time, effort, energy, attention, and your love. Great new value will be the result.
You bring me coffee every morning, but it's a little bit cold. You bring me flowers every evening, but it's getting a little bit old. You say you love what I'm wearing, just as I'm about to change. And you sing me happy birthday, baby. Too late. You do all the wrong things, but your heart is in the right place. You got all the wrong moves, but the foot is not on my place. Yeah, you got the best intention, perfect imperfection, keeps my attention night and day. You do all the wrong things and all the right ways. You say you like to take the side road, oh, to see nothing, but we always end up lost, baby, in your backseat. You do all the wrong things, but your heart is in the right place. You got all the wrong moves, but your foot is not on my place. Yeah, you got the best intention, perfect imperfection, keep my attention night and day.
Welcome back for the final segment of our webinar tonight. And, well, Nakia, I was listening to the song that was playing, and I was just kind of thinking, where is this person doing all the wrong things in the right way? I like women, so I just want to specify. I ain't got nothing against anybody else, but so if there's a lady out there who can do all the wrong things the right way, she can call me up. Nakia, please go ahead and give us this prosperity work.
Absolutely. I got you, Ronnie. I got you. All right, everybody. So I hope you've been enjoying the seminar, this workshop so far, and I hope you're definitely getting something out of it. So leave us feedback, reach out to us, and share this information with others, and have them to join in on the future webinars as well. So right now, we're going to go ahead and move forward into the appointed time prosperity work. Being thankful and access to prosperity. So we have a very special exercise for you this week as our minds focus on Thanksgiving and the upcoming holidays. I'm open for gifts. Hey. Oh, yeah. Disclaimer. So let's list the following categories. Here we go. Romance, and it's up on your screen, so you can definitely copy it off the screen. But these are the categories: romance, money or work, health, and relationships. Romance, money or work, health, and relationships. Under each category, write 3 challenges, and we're looking at challenges that you're facing under these categories of romance, money or work, health, and relationships. I'm sure you can pick out a challenge for each of those very quickly. So under each item, write what you can be thankful for regarding the challenge that gives you power and freedom. Under each item, write a promise you will make that will empower you in facing the challenge and winning. And please include who you will make that promise to. And like Ronnie B said, definitely don't just make a promise to God, because we make promises to God every day and we don't necessarily keep them. And it's not that we don't desire to keep them, but we're human. And sometimes we just intentionally don't keep them. We get lazy. So for whatever the reason is, find someone who will hold you accountable, which is called an accountability partner. Someone who will check back with you at a specific time, specific date, specific place, and say, hey, did you do the work? How are you on your promise? How far along have you gotten? So Ronnie B and I are both in the exercise, as you know. Just like Ronnie B, is there anything that you would like to share? So, Ronnie B, is there anything that you would like to share at this moment?
Looking at one of the challenges, and one of my big challenges is, and it kind of also goes along with that vacation day, is under health, and that's actually taking care. I have some major dental work that desperately needs to be done, and I'm letting it go until it's an emergency. That's like the honest. Like if I'm really being honest about it, it's already in danger. Like Danger Will Robinson, Danger Will Robinson. And I just, and it's been challenging. I've made it unnecessarily challenging. But what I can be thankful Okay. Now, what I can be thankful for about that challenge is that it will demand that I get my act together.
Okay.
I can be I'm gonna have to get my act together and get this dental emergency handled. And it's been about time. So I'm thankful that I will finally have to deal with this challenge, and I'll win.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share also. My category that I'm going to select are business relationships with business related as you know, where I'm focused at. And um, having business colleague, um, professional persons is my challenge. Not so much the availability of locating people, but having those genuine persons within my corner and maintaining a commitment that is mutual to where when life happens, we don't fall off, okay? We keep moving forward. And because of the industry, it's always work to do. It's always things going on. We can easily be pulled away in so many different ways, but how can we be resilient enough and stay on track and not let it be a week or 2 weeks before we getting back with each other and we're on to the next project, the next task, or the next program or event. But maintaining that level of consistency with business professionals, those colleagues. So I'm thankful for having those persons in my life that I can specifically identify because I did the work to remove those people out of my life or allowing God to remove those people out of my life that was taking up space and maintaining a level of clutter within my path where I couldn't see who was actually for me and who was not for me, who was gaining and benefiting from my passion and from my drive and from my dedication, but who was not equally committed to me, which is something we all have to really look at and consider. And now I can actually pick up the phone and reach out to those persons, but wanting to have a roundtable kind of discussion with that group of people and saying, okay, this is where I am and this is where I'm trying to go. Let's all move forward together because we are in the same room with the same passion and ideology, regardless of the people that we're reaching out to. We're still within that same target market of ex-offenders and those re-entering the communities and seeking second chances, whether it's men, women, or whatever, or even children. So I'm thankful for that. And that gives me power to keep pushing and moving forward and knowing that I'm on the right track that God has me on. And I was told, because I used to say, I don't want to fail God. I don't want to fail God. It's a fear of failing God. Oh, my God, that would traumatize me. That would literally stop me in my path. And I had a mentor tell me not that long ago, this year, Miss McKenzie, who said, stop saying that. She X'd it out big red, red pen, y'all. Who's sending you back to elementary school? And she said, it's impossible to fail God. God already knows where you're going to be, what you're going to do. He knows every step that you're going to take. He knows everything about you. He knows your strengths and your weaknesses, your challenges, your successes, and your failures.
Yeah. It's sort of like Nakia, it's sort of like the work that we're doing. the conversation that we're having when we say that you can't get it wrong.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
cannot get it wrong. Now, you can make yourself wrong.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
but you really can't get it wrong because it's your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't get it wrong. That's why we say in this conversation. And, just want to emphasize that Nakia is trained, many areas around, that deal with the reentry of that. She's totally trained in that. But we're not having that conversation. If you want that conversation, you got to pay her. I keep telling folks, you got to pay her for that conversation, okay? So, but this conversation in itself is powerful because you may say, you know what, I need to talk to her about this because I need these structures and the milestones and the coaching and the hands-on work that she's going to charge me a fortune to do. No, she's not going to charge you, but she's going to charge you what you need to be charged if you're trying to, really get where you want to go. But back to you, Nakia, and
thank you, Ronnie. And that gives me freedom. That gives me a level of freedom. And I can see a new level of freedom and a higher level of freedom as I continue to move forward and develop those personal and professional business relationships. So that is what I'm going to do. I mean, that is what I'm thankful for. And my promise that I'm going to make that will empower me to face the challenge and win is to get with a select group of individuals and begin to have that dialogue, have that conversation with them, and begin a new phase, schedule an appointment with a gentleman that I've known for some time to create a product, or I can't divulge too much of it, that's going to allow me an opportunity to benefit the community and those that are being serviced and those that are not being serviced directly in a greater capacity, and be able to have a greater reach and monetize it and provide information and access to a massive amount of people.
Okay. Well, we don't want to get too okay. Forgive me, but we're giving them way too much. Way. So so let's just kind of go back a little bit. I do apologize, but Nakia's challenge is hooking up with the right people to further what she's working to create with at the appointed time for you and her passion, and having those people work one-on-one, committed as partners. Would that kind of be it in the nutshell as far as the challenge?
Absolutely.
And your promise is that this week you're going to contact several of those people and begin the dialogue.
Yes.
I got all righty.
Thank you, Ronnie. So, okay. Huh?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's have a little conversation about doing the work, Ronnie.
Okay. Well, as you know, everything that we did this evening, everything in our webinar, they are not hard to do. But will you do them? Will you do? And you remember we had that conversation about integrity. How much integrity are you going to put in to have your life be as magnificent as you desire? Now, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your behind, make it all, just do this and that. There's concrete stuff. But if your mind isn't in the place where you can take advantage of all of that, it's just like a gift being thrown at you and you won't even see it. Do the work. Then tell us what we need to change. Because, see, there are a lot of people out there, Nakia, who they have opinions, but they don't do the work. I say, okay, great, I got you. Got to do the work. Then tell me what happened. See, that's different. Do the work. Tell me what happened. But if they want to give me an opinion about the work, what's meant, I'm going, did you do? My first question is always going to be, did you do the work? So please do the work. Do it. Even if you do it halfway, you're going to get value. Just do the work.
Yeah. So yes, absolutely, because everybody have opinions, and the world is full of, and you know, great, thank you, we appreciate it. But what are the results? Like Ronnie said, that's what we need. We need the results. So when you're sharing with others, that brings value to the table, because you're not just a speaker and a, you know, wishful thinker, but you're an activist. You are actively participating and doing what you are asking someone else to do and seeing the results for yourself. So, you know, after you've done the work, come back to Ronnie, come back to me, you know, Kevin, or whoever was your accountability partner, and share with them the results. Because now, in this time in our lives, we need those results. It's important, it's imperative, because we can't survive without it. So, Ronnie, are you ready for a little food for thought?
All right, let's hit them with the food for thought.
I'm ready for some food. I need to get filled up. Okay. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do, share with you some food for thought. Those of you that are connected with me on social media know that that's something I used to always just post some food for thought, because thinking is powerful, especially when you utilize it in the right way. Even if you're using the wrong way, it's still powerful. You just got to be careful, because your tongue is the double-edged sword. So, a little food for thought for you. Stronger than negativity. Being positive is not a matter of hiding or denying what is negative. Being positive is being stronger than negativity. When you're wrong, admit it. When you are wrong, admit it. Then you can let the error go, correct it, and move forward. When you're frightened, admit it. It's okay. When you no longer fear the fear itself, that fear loses power and you gain the strength to deal with it. When something is not working, admit it. It's okay. The sooner you do, the more solidly you can move on to something else. You have the power to face the problems, to act on them, to come out ahead. Engage that power by admitting what's wrong, by choosing to see it clearly. Have the courage to shine a bright light on what's holding you back and you will find the strength to move successfully beyond it. So we truly hope that you enjoyed this week's seminar. We met with you 7 days ago, and I know so many of you have done the work. And your intentions, your time, and your effort, and your sacrifice of being with us here on these Sunday nights for this time is really appreciated. I hold it near and dear to me. If you'd like more information or need my services, please contact me directly at Nakia at appointed time for NAKIA, the @ appointedtimeforyou.com. Our next session will be Sunday, November 20th. And the topic is going to be creating a thankful future for prosperity for 2017. Got to do the work now in preparation for tomorrow. You can register for all of our workshops and webinars at the website appointedtimeforyou.com. For specialized support, again, contact me, Nakia Franklin, the Empress of Faith, at Nakia at appointedtimeforyou.com or at the website www.appointedtimeforyou.com. Thank you again for your time, considerations, your patience, and for doing the work. Ronnie B., is there anything you have?
Peace and prosper.
We'll see you next time at your appointed time.
Looking back, it seems it's all a dream. I'm not just saying this for being me. It's just my story and it's just my side. Sit back sometime, 'cause it's gonna take a while. Looking back, it seems it's all a dream. I'm not just saying this for being me. It's just my story and it's just my side. Sit back sometime, 'cause it's gonna take a while. I can't sleep at night. I ain't thinking right. Redeem me. Because I pawned my life somehow. Now ransom is due. She had it all. Reverence with no consequence, so it seemed. None of her actions seemed binding, so it seemed. Guided with no responsibility as my world fails me. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like Egyptian days. Orange sun, warm sand, Hebrew scorn like Moses coming down from the mountain. African slave like Hebrew, you've been warned. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like gang fights, territorial, same struggle, different bubble. Mothers huddle to comfort one another. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like mom and daddy had a fight last night. Woke up, no eyesight. Cooked breakfast like everything was all right. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like sending our boys overseas to fight. Doing it for our country, don't make it right, 'cause family still can't sleep at night. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like Papa didn't have it. You're no longer in the baby carriage. Fly, little birds, fly. Forcing you to move forward 3 weeks, no phone call. You pissed off, she pays for it. 'Cause just like mama, she gives up her mortgage, and daddy don't even know it. Sounds like redemption. I want my daughters back, white and black. Mesmerized by crack. Used to be fat. PHAT, pretty hot and tempting. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like I want my innocence back. He stole it, she know it, and she always knew that. Now she's raising a stepdaughter / granddaughter. Water under the bridge, hell no, manslaughter. Sounds like redemption.
redemption like New World Order. Bartering won't be enough. Slaughtering will be a must. Survival will be tough. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like persecution with no conscience. Prosecution with no haunches. He died for no one's death. Let your child go to jail for accidental death. Jesus' love put to the test. Sounds like redemption. Redemption like 10 words or less. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. If he can forgive, so can you. Sounds like redemption. Looking back, it seems it's all a dream. I'm not just saying this for being mean. It's just my story and it's just my style. Sit back sometime, 'cause it's gonna take a while. Looking back, it seems it's all a dream. I'm not just saying this for being mean. It's just my story and it's just my style. Sit back sometime, 'cause it's gonna take a while.